Okay, welcome back to the 55 special build. Finishing up the front suspension, put the sway bar in, nothing special, new end links, bolted up. Put the modified Corvette, rear Corvette shocks in, no problem. All the details on that stuff is in the front end install videos, I think. And then last thing to do, fill the hole and put the front springs in. And that should be it. So one more Jag tidbit. I'll show you how I install Jaguar front coil springs. So now that everything is done except for the springs, time to put the springs back into this car. So one last tip for those doing the Jaguar suspension. You notice here I have these guys here. This is 3/8 fine thread, all thread, about a foot long, 4 of them. I just have them threaded up into the bottom of the control arm. And we're going to use those to install the springs. Let me get past the camera. Got here. Grab the rest of the stuff. So, put this here. This is my special tool for installing Jaguar springs. Just a piece of pipe, 3/8 drive socket welded in there, and a 9/16 socket welded to the other end to basically screw nuts up this thing. What we're going to do is, you'll see in a minute, set the spring on the bottom spring plate, put some nuts on these, and thread the nuts up, and it'll compress the spring and put it back into the car. So, let's see here. Put this stuff where I can get it. Alright, so the spring is going to go in like this, straight. Nut on. Alright, so I'm going to spin these nuts up. Driver. This is going to go up quite a bit more. All right, so that is with the spring just sitting on the spring plate, no tension on it. Now, what I have to do is start spinning these nuts up onto these rods evenly to compress the spring until the spring plate is all the way up to the control arm. Now we'll just crank these down. Alright, so we're getting close, almost there. These two bolts on the end. Get their nuts. Finish putting this up. So the spring is compressed all the way. Now, now with the plate all the way up, these two end bolts, I can tighten up. That's the sway bar mount and the bottom of the shock mount. Okay. Now, one at a time, can remove these rods and put the bolts in that belong there. So we'll spin this guy out. Right. Bolt in. And again, this is only, I guess, useful information if you're going to put a Jag front end into something. They work well, and I like them a lot. I said the only thing with them is they are, the last time these were used was the mid-90s in the XJS. So it is getting to the point where parts might be an issue. I've had no problem getting ball joints, tie rod ends, that kind of stuff. Steering racks are not common. Rebuild kits are. So if you have a leaky rack, you can get it rebuilt. Other than that, other than the steering rack, everything else is pretty common and pretty reasonable in price also. All right, that is it. One spring installed. Now move all the hardware over to the other side, get the other spring in, and I think we are done with the front end. Okay, I got to end this video here. I was going to try to get some more Buick work done and add to this video, but I just can't get it done. I keep getting called in for work and other things going on, like this green Silverado you see here, that I'll have to end this video here, and when I come back we will continue on. Hopefully next weekend I can get some work done. See how it goes. But in between building this car and everything else I have to do, I've been stripping out Silverados, like this green one that I just drove up here yesterday. And that's what I'm doing in between building this car, is dealing with these donor trucks. Here's a couple others I have that I'll leave you with, and we'll see you on the next video. Well, one good thing about the Northeast is donor trucks are plentiful. One bad thing about the Northeast is that's because they rust out and ruin your nice truck. Here's one getting processed, so to say, on its way to the scrapyard. Kind of stuff you don't see in the Midwest, I don't think, or in the East Coast. Broken in half frames, chunks missing, junk, but they all have excellent running engines. So basically an endless supply of 5.3s, 4.8s, and in today's example, 6.0s. Here's an oddball of a truck that I just picked up today. It's a 2002 1500, but it isn't. It's an HD, which means it's basically a 3/4 ton. I don't understand why they named it even 1500 at all. It's got 3/4 ton axles, 4L80 transmission. And 6.0. So there's nothing about this that's half ton. I don't know what the marketing ploy was for calling it a 1500. But it is in no way a 1500. The frame is 3/4 ton, Hydro Boost, everything. All heavy duty stuff. And again, another Northeast truck. Rockers are gone. That's normal. But the main issue, frame rust. Same as the other one I just showed a picture of. Frames get rusty. Anyway, that's how I can afford to do these swaps. You buy these junkers like this, part it out, and can usually get back, if not my whole purchase price, close to my purchase price in parts, and end up with an engine, transmission, PCM, wiring harness, miscellaneous other parts for $0 to maybe a max $250, $300, all depending on what can go on the truck. So, back to the project.